Okay, I guess that if you're here, you've read who am I? I'm not an expert. This is the first thing that I would like to say. I'm not an expert. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a person that is giving a professional help to people with autistic spectrum condition. But I am a person on the autism spectrum. I'm 40 and I got my official diagnosis 2 years ago. So before that, I had no idea that I was autistic, actually. And before that, I decided to become a trainer of the empathic communication. I would like to become one day the NVC trainer, the certified one, if I will have this possibility. This thing was one of the things that belated a little my diagnosis, because I was convinced that being a person on the autism spectrum means that you have no empathy whatsoever, which is not true at all. So I'm going to share with you my experience as a trainer, as an Asperger trainer of empathic communication. And I would like, if you have any questions, just feel free. I would love this to be a discussion. It's not a lecture, I'm just sharing. And well, actually, I have to say something about me, because it makes the picture complete, right? I got interested in NVC when I became a mother. That was 6 years ago, and through the attachment parenting, I learned about NVC, and NVC for me was something that was very clear. It's logicity, its universality, the fact. Okay, I can see the question. What made me turn to NVC? Becoming a mother. I wanted to understand well my role as a mother. I've met some people on my way, some mothers that were into the attachment parenting, and they led me to NVC. And so the idea that it's so simple, that we all have the same needs, that we all feel the same things, and the only thing that we cannot communicate those needs clearly. It was very appealing, because it's also my experience through all my life. And so just a second. Sorry, I'm quite nervous, so I just get a little blocked. Okay, I will drink, I will take deep breath, and then I will continue. Okay, so I was telling you that it's logic. It's the logic that is underneath the NVC, right? That was appealing, and that it made all the things very very straightforward, very very direct. Thank you, Susan. Okay. And so, okay, so I became mother, it was like, playing a game, because, I had this little new person that, had several needs at the beginning, and then they were growing. And so I was growing as a mother with her, and I was learning more about her needs, but then I was learning about my needs as well. Because I wanted to learn more, I decided to go to the school. We have here in Warsaw, there is the school. It's 2 years school for trainers. I never thought I would become a trainer. I just wanted to make the first year that, was like the very intense course of NVC. And so I wanted to take part of this course. But when the first year finished, then I thought, well, what the heck? I want to continue, because I felt I want to continue this journey. And then I just became a trainer at such point, which was it was not my first plan. I'm a translator and interpreter. I work with Italian language, which is also significant, I guess, because, translating and interpreting is also about communication. It's also about understanding other people and making people understand each other, right? So I guess that you can call NVC be training people in nonviolent communication, some kind of interpreting as well, but teaching people how to understand properly, their peers, their next of kin, all the people that they have around. And so that's it. And then I discovered, thanks to my friend, I don't know if she's, no, I guess that she's not here now, that maybe I can be on the autism spectrum. She discovered that because she had a son that was on the autism spectrum, and then she recognized herself in her son, and so she continued. And then because we were friends already, and I said, no, it's impossible that you're on autism spectrum. It's not what I thought that autism spectrum looks like, right? And she told me, instead, I'm 100% Asperger. And so she sent me some tests, because I was curious, how come she, and so I made these tests, those tests are like, I treated them more like, what kind of bread are you, or what kind of pizza are you? And then, after answering, 100 questions, I discovered that, 160 were responded just as a person on the autism spectrum would answer. And then I thought, no, it's impossible. I cannot be a person on the spectrum. Do I look like Dustin Hoffman on Rain Man? No, I don't. Am I a person that lacks of empathy? No. Well, actually, I'm a trainer. I became a trainer of the empathic communication. Can't be. I cannot be a person on the autism spectrum. There must have been some mistake, And but we were talking with my friend. It took me quite a year before I decided to see a psychiatrist, and so I went there. He knows me because he used to cure me from the depression episode. And so I entered there and I said, well, okay, I have a question. Is it possible that I'm on autism spectrum? And he told me, yeah, it's possible, So, and then, I was like, wow, so it can really be true. The point is that I really recognized me in different images, in different experiences of especially female, not only female, but mostly female Asperger persons, right? Or persons on the autism spectrum. And, it was the diagnosis, it was like a milestone. It was something that made me complete, as all the things that I could not explain before, all the difficulties, all the stuff that, I just thought that I was a little weird. And then, it just started to make a perfect sense. The image was that, it was me, it was not that I was strange, that I was just, it was me, right? And it was very important for me. There's Paulina here. Yeah, that's Paulina. Paulina, she's the president of the Autonomy Foundation. She's the person that has invited me to become a trainer in her foundation. But before, she made some meetings for the spectacular girls, it was called, right? And that's why that's how we've met. She was organizing those meetings for the female autism persons as or assigned as female at birth, right? Then so I got to know more persons on the spectrum, right? And I discovered that many of them, they have already heard about the communication, about the nonviolence communication, right? That some of us had just the same, let's say, the same route. They made the same path because I don't know how much you know about the spectrum disorder condition, I prefer to say. So we are underdiagnosed, very underdiagnosed, as all the tests, all the diagnoses, they were prepared mainly on the male profile, right? And so that's also why I was diagnosed so late. And then Paulina, she was looking for a trainer. I said, yeah, I can, if you want, yeah, I would love to do something I would like to do something in your foundation, as I was also interested, well, giving back something that I got from there already, right? And so communication, the nonviolence communication, is something that I know best. And so I wanted to include it in there were, like some kind of support group for the adults on the spectrum. But at our first meeting, I was told by the most of the members of our group that they came to our group because they wanted to learn nonviolence communication. So, I just reframed all the plan, and I just made the workshops about the empathic communication, about NVC, about what Marshall Rosenberg was talking about, right? And just a second. Okay. And Okay, you know, we had a very mixed group as for the gender, for the age, for the background, for the profession. And you know what? I cannot see any difference between the empathy, that is the level of empathy that we had in our group, and the level of empathy that we had in the group in my school, right? Which was like the, you know, the professional already, you know, there were people with the background. So it was a big myth. If I weren't on the autism spectrum, I would hardly believe, you know, that that it was possible. And, you know, for me, it was like, okay, yeah, I was all the time I was old, right? But then I was remembering, right, I'm also on the spectrum, and still we are here. So, well, the important thing is that okay, the difference between the person that is neurotypical, right, and a person that is neurodivergent is, I don't know, we can describe it maybe as a difference in the operating system, right? So I don't know, the neurotypicals are Windows and we are Linux. We are not compatible, but after all, right, we can perform the same programs and we can communicate, right? But we need some help. And but you know, if you put you know, the Windows program on Linux without any preparation, you may, well, you are not going to expect much, right? Because it's just not going to run, right? So that's it. And so I wanted to check on the internet, you know, what is what are the newest information about the empathy. There's a lot of research made recently. I've got it here, like, you know, quite a pile. I'm not going to read it, don't worry. Well, I think that, you know, we can, yeah, okay, I will continue. It's not that I've got so much to say, so we can discuss later. I will, you know, I don't know if you want to what I think that maybe if you have any questions, just, you know, during the, when I'm telling the story, right? I would love to answer them, or we can make a discussion as well. If there is a need that you would like to break out the rooms, then yeah, sure.
I've seen Bodil that had a question. So if you would like.
Would you like a question now?
If you have a question, yes, of course.
Yeah. Okay. At first, I want to acknowledge your courage. I can sense that you're nervous, but it's really courageous just to stand up and speak. I was diagnosed with Asperger's 2 years ago, like you. And for me, NVC is just a fantastic key to open the understanding of how people react to each other. And I too, well, I mourn a little that many of my friends in NVC, they don't want to label, so they don't want to hear about diagnosis. But it's a very huge diagnosis, and I think I need to be acknowledged for it, and I think you do too. But when you talked about this group of autists and the empathy, and it was the same as with other people, I find I think too, I really feel that empathy is not difficult, but if in the end of a session, if the trainer says, please tell Susan what you just think about what she just said, or what your feelings and needs, and that's too fast. And do you recognize that? It's just this being so fast. And I don't know what to say. And I would like so much to say something, but it's too quick.
Yeah, I feel you. you know, it's something that I know also. Yeah.
Yeah. So empathy out, it's easy to take empathy in to understand with your heart, but when you have to speak it out, it can be very difficult, challenging if it has to be done so fast. Is that a thing?
Yeah, I guess okay, I think that there are two things here. The first thing is that during our meetings, we had the cycle that there were 8 meetings. There were people that at the beginning, they just didn't want to say anything because they didn't feel confident, because they just wanted to participate without because they needed to put all the things in order as well.
Yeah.
I think that this is the case, right? And yeah, it happens with me as well. Sometimes instead I just say things before I think them even, you know, so it's also difficult. It happens as well. And so, you know, I think that the first thing is that, you know, if I guess that it's just fine if you don't say anything, if you don't want to, right? Or if you say, okay, I need some time. I mean, you know, it's well, I really recognize this need. And the second thing is what I think it can be also connected to, because it's something that I know from my experience, but also experience of a lot of my peer autistic friends, that sometimes I delay things, I delay feelings. I delay also, you know, it's like, you know, when you're speaking with someone and, you know, is saying something, and then you wake up in the night and okay, I should have said that, right? But it happens next day, you know, it's, so, you know, I think that it's just good to say that, you know, I mean, yeah, this is how I am. This is my part. This is how my operating system works, right? And that's it. And I don't, you know, I think that, you know, also when you work in the groups, right, that it's, you know, from my point of view as a trainer, that it's fine that you set, you know, this kind of set of rules, several rules. I will read it just a second. I've seen it just. So if people don't mind that, you know, you just don't say anything, or that you will start with your conclusion on the next session, right? Because you can do this as well. I mean, you know, you can start the next meeting, you know, speaking about the last meeting. I think that is just fine. I would say. I don't know if this answers a question.
Yeah, as what I take with me is that it maybe is about this feeling safe in the group, and it can take a little longer. And then you are blocked because you're not all safe. And when you have to answer something or feel you have to answer something, it's just, yeah.
Yeah, I guess, you know, as I said, I'm not an expert. And also, if you're autistic, you know this. If you have met a person on the spectrum, you've met one person on the spectrum. We are very different. So I'm going to say now to all the group as well, not only answering to the question. We differ a lot. If you see a group of autistic people, you know, we just differ as the neurotypical people. I mean, you know, like here, we are also different, right? And but, you know, I guess that if we weren't speaking about that, because this is the point, I guess that probably you would not guess who is actually autistic here, you know. Because, you know, if we would have a nonverbal person, probably would just hide, like, you know, there are some people that don't want to take part, they just listen, right? And some others, you would not recognize them because how do you do that after all? You don't, you know, it's I guess that I would have to start steaming, you know, but so that, you know, most of the people would be able to say, yes, she's autistic. The point is that, you know, during my life, I learned to steam in a way that is totally socially acceptable. So nobody knows that, you know, it's actually autistic steaming, as we are all steaming. I don't know if you know what steaming is. If does anyone needs an explanation? Steaming is an repetitive action. What you can see sometimes on the films, that there will be people that, you know, like flapping hands or turning around, and it's behavior that you use as a self-regulation. It's a way to control the impulses that are coming from the outside world. Because this is the other thing, autistic people, as we have Linux, we perceive a world a little different, in a way that we don't, when we get impulses, sometimes the impulses that are perfectly bearable for the neurotypical person, they can be overwhelming for us, right? So, and it depends on the person, right? So you can be hypersensitive, you can be hyposensitive, so you will need more impulses, more input from the outside world, right? It can be, I don't know, for me, I will give you an example because I don't know if I'm saying this in enough clear way. For example, if I go to shop, the lights in the hypermarkets, right? They are really annoying after quite a short time. And so, which I didn't know before, in the middle of shopping, I start to get nervous and I'm starting to go faster, you know, to put all the things in the basket. And then I run just to the, you know, to check out, and that's it. And I didn't know that it could be caused by, because, you know, there is a lot of artificial light and it's very strong for me, it's too much. And I had no idea that it had anything to do with the spectrum, but it happens. And so this is also one of the reasons that also in the research that I have showed you, you know, also here it's written that the empathy in the neurodivergent people is not less, or it's not that it's not so strong as in the neurotypical people. Okay, this is a good question. I will, yeah, sure. Where I was, sorry. Okay, so I will drink. Okay, so I was speaking about empathy, right? So it's not the point that we don't feel feelings of other people. You know this feeling when you enter in the room and you know that something happened. Everyone is perfectly fine, and you know that there's tension, right? I don't know. Do you know this? Do you know this? I guess that we all know this. I do feel this. But the point is that, you know, I'm quite socially awkward, so I don't know how to behave in the situation like this. So I tend to, I tend to just fake, I didn't notice anything, you know. And this is the point. I can see a person, now it's different for me also. Okay. Sorry, because, you know, I see that you're writing, so I see, I want to read. Okay, there is Sarah also that wants to say something. And, you know, it just it's not helping. Well, I mean, it's not, you do that, but, you know, I just need to come back, you know, to the stuff that I was saying, because then, so I will just concentrate on that, and then I will come back to you, okay? The point is that, you know, sometimes also the point that we are overwhelmed with all the impulses, with all the information, sometimes we have also problem with prioritizing the things that we perceive, right? And that's when it becomes overwhelming. And then, okay, you see a crying person, and it can happen, right, that you will just sit next to her and you don't know what to do. And then, yeah, actually, it's going to seem that you are not empathic at all, but it's not true. You feel this inside very, very strongly, but you just have no way to communicate it, you know. And I think that, you know, this is a big problem, you know, this thing about communication. But it's also the other way around, right? As I told you, you know, the problem with the hypermarkets. You will see the autistic children, you know, that they will start ranting, they will have their meltdowns, right? And sometimes it happens that, you know, the neurotypicals, the people that are there, you know, they just don't get it why it's happening, you know. Some of them will, but, you know, some of them will just think, you know, they are just, you know, like ugly brats, and they are acting weird, they are acting out. And instead it can be, you know, too much noise and too much light, you know. So, you know, there is this lack of communication that is you know, the main problem. And so getting you know, the knowledge of NVC and understanding, we have all, you know, it's such a easy, it's, you know, it's such an easy, simple structure. We all have the same needs, we all feel the same things, we only act in a different way, right? And you know, it builds bridges. It really helps you know, to communicate also between you know, people that are very different, right? Well, which all of you would know, I guess. The point is that I know that in the United States, especially, but also in here in Poland, it's very often that children that are on the spectrum, right, that they are going to be just set for prepared to live in the neurotypical world, right? But, you know, their needs are neglected. What they really need, which would be this kind of self-control, like steaming, as I told you. So here comes the NVC, you know, that can give, you know, really a hand, you know, to understand what's going on. And you know, that sometimes, you know, it's the simplest, just, you know, the physiological needs, right? So, you know, you are reacting so strongly because you're just tired, and you have different, you cannot control yourself so well as another person, right? And this would be also about all the children, I guess. not only children on the spectrum, as you know, children, they are okay, they are learning and they are developing their control during all the childhood, right? So yeah, here NVC helped me a lot. This was I don't know whose question it was. I guess it was Rosanna, right? I don't know how it would be, you know, without these tools and without this. I have no idea how would it be. It helped a lot, you know, because I was just focusing not on the behavior. I was not focusing on the behavior of my child. I was focusing on what she's trying to say, right? What can be this thing that she needs. And it was really helpful, you know. And sometimes also validating the feelings of my daughter, you know, just saying, okay, I see that you're angry, without judging, without telling her to behave in another way, right? Only this, saying, okay, I see that you're angry, right? And you know, it was helping her to calm down. You know, it was regulating, right? So I don't know how much it was if it has anything to do here with the autism spectrum or not. I think that, you know, it's just a knowledge that is good for all the parents, you know, that yeah, our children, they have needs, right? And they struggle to communicate. So I don't know, how do you communicate when you're two? I don't know, you scream, I guess, right? Or you cry, that's it. And so, yeah, I don't know, NVC makes things easy. That's it. And so I don't know, you have any questions here? I wanted to say now something about the workshops, right?
Hi, I have a question. May I?
Hi. Sure.
Hi, Asha. I wanted to ask about your workshop, and was there any specific topic that was more appealing to the group? Like sometimes, you know, people are interested in how to ask, or I don't know.
Okay, I will tell you. Okay, because the expectations and the needs, you know, sometimes they differ as well. Because the point, the thing that was said by almost all of them at the beginning was that they wanted to communicate better. Right, and which is, of course, you know, because, you know, it's the main, you know, you want to be heard, you want to be seen as you are with your needs, you want to put the boundaries as well, right? So this was you want to be understood within what you are. You would like to okay, I'm speaking in my name, actually. Also, it's about standing in my position, not stepping out always and trying to act as it's expected, you know, just to stay here and say, okay, that's me and those are my needs, right? Because I think that, you know, this is also quite a important problem, as I said before, right? That, you know, society is not fit for the diversity in general. I'm not speaking about neurodivergency now, I'm speaking about everything, right? So, you know, it tries to push away the, well, I guess it's, you know, it's some kind of the regulation maybe of the herd maybe, but you know, still it's not ready and it's not fit. So this was the first thing, you know, to speak from my position, to tell the things that I feel and how to tell them that I can be heard. So this was the first thing. But the thing that I guess, I don't know, I would have to, maybe they can confirm, I will let you know somehow. But what I have noticed, there were two things that I guess were the most important. And the first one was the self-empathy. You know, it was like a base. It was something, you know, it was like a discovery. I know this because, you know, it was a discovery also for me that, you know, I'm worth it. My feelings are valid, right? So, you know, we're talking about this a lot. It was, I guess, you know, that this was the thing that was coming back all the time, because after all, when you don't get empathy, right? When you don't give yourself empathy, you have no means to reach out to another person, right? So first of all, you need to reach out to yourself, right? And accept all the things that are there. The second thing was anger. I think that, you know, well, anger is something about the boundaries, right? About protecting ourselves. And so, yeah, it was also the thing that we are talking about. You know, there are those two stories in the in Rosenberg's book. The one when he was telling the story. Okay, I'm not going to retranslate it again. Okay, but it was the story that he was coming back from the airport and a guy started to rant about the Jews that want to rob everyone. And you know, when I was reading the book first time, it was the moment when I thought, okay, this is for me. And it will sound strange, but you know, I really understood that, because you know, it was my shadow. And then Marshall says, normally before, in my former life, you know, I would just punch him. But I got so angry. That I just sit there for 5 minutes and I was imagining all the worst things, even hitting his head against the glass, right? And I thought, oh God, right? This is this is nonviolent communication, right? How come? And then, you know, the anger is here. We have it, you know, if someone passes our boundaries. Well, this one is not mine, this one is the Marshall, but you know, it's about what I have noticed in the book, actually. So this was the one. And then, you know, when he said also about the luxury of being angry. And, you know, I thought, yeah, that's it. I can be angry, you know, it's valid, it's just fine. And this was the one thing. And the other one was about the Marshall's daughter. I don't know if you know this story. It's also in the book. When the director of the school of his daughter said, you're not wearing properly dressed for the school. And that his daughter said, fuck you. Sorry, it's a quote. And Marshall wrote, I got so happy. I got so happy because I knew that she passed to the second stage, that she passed to the stage of the rebellion, right? And, you know, it was so powerful. And this was the thing that I wanted also to share with our group. Yeah, we can be angry. It's not the point that you should not be angry. It's the way that you live your anger. But if you keep it inside, it's going to turn against you, right? This is how depression works, right? All the all the anger that you will not let out, all the anger that you will not let yourself feel, it's going to become the anger against yourself, right? And that's it. Those were the two things, right? That I guess that there were, you know, the empathy and the validness, the empathy for ourselves and the validness of validity of our feelings, all the feelings, not only those good ones, right? And so that I can take care of myself, that if I feel angry, right, I can just say, okay, I need to go out. You know, those are, you know, like, seems that, you know, that those are basic things, but, you know, I think that until I was 30, I didn't know I could do this, you know. So, yeah, so it was also because, and this is where we will come back also to the spectrum, as I'm saying we, but I'm speaking about my experience, of course, but you know, it's something that is shared as I read and I talk with different peer autistics. For us, it's also more difficult to understand the dynamics of several, you know, of the social behavior. This would be the thing that, you know, I will just sit next to the person that is crying. Now I would not do this anymore, you know, because you can also learn empathy, you know, you can, I think that it was Lucyna Wieczorek, Lucy, that was, or maybe Anna Berendt, one of the trainers that said that the only thing, you know, to you can do with your empathy, you know, is to work out your empathy muscle all the time. And, you know, it just grows bigger, and it's valid for everyone, not only for the neurotypical or only for the people on the spectrum, you know, because here we are all the same. We do learn actually in a different way, you know, more through understanding in a logical way, not through intuition. And this is true, but still we learn. And, you know, after all, the output is the same. So what I would not do when I was 30, now as a 40 years old woman, yeah, I know how to take care of my daughter, and I know that she feels that I do take care of her, right, and that I validate her feelings, and that I try to recognize her needs, and most of the time I actually recognize them, right? So this is the point. And so those were the two things, as I told you. And I guess, you know, the third one, authenticity, you know, being yourself, also in the diversity, because, you know, after all, this division, yeah, it's useful to understand your identity. They do exist, you know. It's not that you can pretend that they are not, right? Those differences, but you know, those differences, they don't have to be something that divide us, you know. It's something that we can learn from. And I guess I've read it also in those articles here, this research that was, well, actually it's totally logical, but now it's confirmed that there was this experiment that they have done. They were making the brain screening, and so the people on the spectrum or neurodivergent people actually can be more empathetic to the other people on the spectrum than the neurotypical person, right? And same because you know, we have more things in common, I guess. You know, I think that this is the simple explanation, right? And from the other side, you know, the neurotypicals, as they are more, they have more experiences that are making them closer. They make them understand themselves more, right? They will be more empathetic to other neurotypicals. But you know, I think that it's only the question of the actually experience things, right? So I don't know, if I have my special interest, that is another thing that is characteristical for the person on the spectrum. Okay. To other people, okay, the first thing, there is this division, right? High functioning, low functioning autism. But actually, it's, you know, it's quite, a lot of us would rather not to make this division, because, you know, what does it mean, high functioning? Actually, high functioning is because you have, I don't know if you can see the message. Okay, because the question is, what are the top 3-5 distinguishing characteristics of persons with high functioning autism compared to other people? Okay, so let's put one thing clear, right? High functioning would be something that is actually okay, you are coping better in the world, but it also means often you fit better. But it doesn't have to mean necessarily that you are higher functioning because you are verbal, for example, you know. I don't, maybe, okay, I will talk a lot, right? And I have a job, I'm married, so yeah, you can say that I'm high functioning, but you know, there's also a price. I easily get overwhelmed. My depression episodes, they were connected also to that, right? To the fact that I didn't know that I should stop at such point. So, you know, that the things that normally for other people are not so exhausting, for me are exhausting, actually, you know. So it's not always like this. You want the characteristics, right? I don't know. You know, there are those tests, right? So that you can see they are actually, you know, showing only very very narrow spectrum of the spectrum, right? Okay, so that often when we get involved in something, okay, this is the first thing that comes to my mind now. We get involved very, very, very deeply, and you know, it becomes quite an obsession, right? It doesn't have to be one thing, it can be more of them, but you will get into it, you know, just, you can spend hours researching, I don't know, one model of the fountain pen, right? Just as an example. And it's something that gives you joy, right? So, you know, I think that it's this kind of intensity in the interest. So this is for sure the characteristic that is shared by most of the people on the spectrum. Those better masking and those that don't mask at all. The structure. Structure makes us good, you know, structures make us feel safe. Predictability. I I am also ADD, so I like to have my dopamine shots as well. So I'm swinging a little between the structures that I need a lot, and also some spontaneous things that will give me the dopamine shots. So I'm not the, but yeah, the structure is something that I need, that we need a lot. So that's the another one. Okay, all the sensorisms, this way of perceiving, of bringing, of taking the input from the world. But if we see questions, all, yeah, I guess so. So if you can write the messages so that they can be visible to all, it would be perfect. Okay. Because yeah, that actually I didn't even notice that that they were the direct message. And so okay, that's it. The sensorisms. So that we get some of us get overwhelmed with too much noise. Some of us will need very strong hugs, and another ones doesn't like to be touched at all. So it's that those are the the problems with the regulation of perceiving the world by our senses, right? There are some autistics that they have synesthetic, so that they can see colors of the numbers and feel the smell of the words and so on, which is cool. I don't have it, but I would like to have it a lot. I don't know, that's it. And okay, the theory of mind, that's what they say, right? But I guess that now, so that for us it's difficult to understand something that is not regarding us. But I think that actually it's that is difficult to take another perspective. But I actually this is one of the main characteristics that are in the classical literature, but I guess that it's mostly because of the lack of understanding, of actually. I think that it's all. We can speak about the way of learning, right? That we learn things differently, but we do learn. Okay, that's it. I made you laugh, Christina. Susan. Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, thank you. Hi, I'm really enjoying this. Especially, it's been helpful for me to keep my attention. So thanks everybody for asking questions. What my best friend, who is she calls herself high functioning autistic. But I heard your definition. I like that. Or you're explaining your point there. So what I wanted to talk about is how it's kind of frustrating to me when she helps me clean my house, and that's how we started knowing each other. She's 19, I'm 65. We're like two peas in a pod now. It didn't start that way. She didn't even want to talk to me. She was very socially awkward, and now we travel. It's crazy. Awesome. We talk all the time. And so anyway, I wanted to say that what's frustrating for me when she's cleaning the house is she'll get very, as you say, obsessed. She just has to do it perfectly. She's not going to end. Like getting every spot off the dish. She'll go one extreme to the other. I'll be like, no, that's good enough. Just put it in there. You don't need to spend that much time. And she seems like mad at me when I, anyway. So, but then with the bed, no matter how many times I tell her, she'll keep doing it the opposite of what I ask. And some things she'll do very badly, like in general, cleaning. It's funny because I said that about the spots, but in general, if I ask her to clean the counter, she's pretty bad at it. Excuse my French, bad, for lack of trying to keep it brief. So I just wanted to share the comment, and if you have any comments about that, that'd be fun.
Okay. So I have this thing about cleaning, but only on the very special occasions, because, you know, otherwise I'm quite a chaotic person. So yeah, there is Sarah that is writing. Yeah, I think that, you know, it's that's why, you know, it's something that is, you know, this high functioning, low functioning, it's a division, you know, actually, yeah, that has to do with fitting into the society. That's so this would be that. I actually don't like it so much. So, you know, I don't get offended by it, but I prefer not to use this distinction, because I think that it's not useful. It also, you know, gives labels, you know, because low functioning, what would that mean? You know, it would mean that this person is worse. I don't know, I don't know, you know, I've got some executive functioning that are freaking fantastic, really, you know. I really can organize myself, and in one day I will go with a 2-year-old on the other part of the world, and I would do this, and I will organize this. And then, you know, I have problems because I forget to pay my bills, right? So I get those reminders, and then, you know, when I get the third reminder, yeah, okay, I will pay it now. So, you know, you may have one day that you will be really high functioning and, you know, fantastic, and another day that you will struggle to get up from bed, right? So, you know, it's fluent, I guess. No, I actually, yeah, it's not a very good division. Yeah. Okay. What I wanted to tell you also, you know, that it's the thing that I guess that, you know, it's very important, and what I could see on the meetings, I was a member of the group as well. After that, when I was a trainer, there is a very strong will to connect. We really want to connect with others, you know, we want to be seen, we want to understand others, and we want to be understood. And that's why I guess, you know, that this simplicity and logicity, you know, this logic of the nonviolent communication, you know, is so important. I can tell you also there is one thing that can be problematic in this case, because we may have more problems to recognize our emotions, right? What we are feeling. And actually, I sometimes actually, you know, this is also the thing that I said before. It has something to do also with delaying some stuff also, but not only. So, you know, sometimes when you have problems to recognize what you feel, then, you know, it's harder to investigate your needs. But what I am quite confident that it's something that you can work on as well. you know, I think that, you know, it's something that in general, you know, the education system, wherever it lacks it, you know, this kind of the psychoeducation, the emotional education, the education about feelings, right? And as it's not there, and we struggle to learn by imitating, right? And it can be difficult. Yeah, actually, yeah, this is true. I've read what Aneta wrote. Yeah. Okay, Christina.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. I get so touched by what you're telling. I just yeah.
Thank you.
So I really enjoyed it. My teenage son was diagnosed a year ago, and yeah, and I just wondered if I really think that it would be so good if he could learn this at school. Could you say you just mentioned education, but if you could, yeah, what do you think if I don't know, I might show this video, or I might take some of the points that you've been mentioning?
Yeah,
because I think it would be so. It sounds for you and Bodil like it really was for me as an NT, a neurotypical. NVC helps me, but it sounds like you. It was really even more fascinating.
Look, this is actually why I wanted this to be recorded. I didn't know. Well, I thought, okay, if it's going to be a flop, you know, we'll just delete it. But yeah, if you want to, well, you feel free to share it wherever you want. You know, I mean, that's actually why I wanted to come here. Thank you, Magdalena, because you know, I thought that it's important. You know, we want to be seen, and yeah, that's it. I don't know, just a second. Okay, I will click. I don't know if this is the one. This is the one, the Baron Cohen. This is the one that actually, the link that now, this is the one that, okay, I didn't file that one, but I know girls that, you know, that definitely they are that they would fail this one, because it anyway it speaks, you know, about the this classical diagnosis that is not helping to diagnose women and persons that are assigned females. Okay, someone who can blend in. Yeah. Yeah, this is true. You know, it also depends on the moment in life that you're in. You know, I don't know if you have read all the I don't know what is SEN teachers. Sorry. Okay. Special needs. Okay, thank you. You know what I think? Okay, I will check if we can all read it, right? Yeah. These days, this division high-low is used by SEN teachers, as it's important for them when they plan their work. Okay, I will speak now. I will talk now a little about the ideal world, right? But I don't think that labeling children in any way can do any good. You know, actually, yeah, you can if you know that there is this child that struggles with something, right? And I know that in the real world, it's not so easy to, you know, to organize the decent education, especially for the persons that they do have special needs. But, you know, in the ideal world, I would like, you know, to have a teacher that, you know, just looks at the child and sees its needs, you know. I mean, yeah, in the ideal world, yeah. If you had a request for people but with their behavioral way of communicating with people with autism, what would it be? Ask. I mean, you know, as I said before, if you have met one autistic person, you have met one autistic person. We have different needs, as we all have different needs. You know, I'm a very sociable person. And I like meeting with people, but then I feel overwhelmed. And so I don't know, for me, it would be, you know, don't get offended if I will just disappear from the party in the middle, right? But it's me. Ask, you know, try to reach out. That's it. I think that, you know, this is the most universal answer. You know, here we are, you know, in the very core of the NVC, you know, you should open your heart. And here we are, we open our hearts then as well. I mean, you know, as everyone else. And that's it. You know, ask, is there anything that you need in particular, right? If you're afraid that you may, I guess that also you can say, you can say to a person, you know, that you are just fine. If this person wants to tell you something, that you are going to listen, you know, that's it. Maya.
Hi.
Hi.
I just wanted first to thank you so much for bringing up that topic and having that workshop, because I do believe that spreading the information about people on the spectrum is really needed in the world, and somehow this is how we make the people like of any difference their life better. And I am the mother of an autistic girl, of an autistic girl, and also I am a trainer, empathic communication trainer.
Right.
And I'm so connected to whatever you are saying about labeling. I would even enhance it a little more and saying that even dividing people into autistic and not autistic is somehow, it might not work. Sometimes it's, and I love that expression on autism spectrum, because all of us have something, yeah, we are somewhere on that spectrum. Let's say similar to the people of color, I wouldn't want to label them, oh, he is black, he's whatever. Yeah. And the same with autism. And my question would be, because I have worked a lot with parents of people, of kids with Asperger's syndrome, because this is like I'm helping some foundations and I'm running the workshops or the whole courses for the parents. And I have noticed some, let's say, differences that are, let's say, in terms of the 4 steps. And those are somehow nuances, but might be challenging to the people who are on autism spectrum. And I would love to hear from you what were the challenges for you when you were learning NVC.
Okay, I will tell you that actually I was living the 4 steps until the very end, but not only because we are, I think that, it's generally, like this, as I have noticed a lot of times, sticking to the 4 steps so much that, that it was more important the form itself than the message that you wanted to say. And as it's easier to use something that is ready, right? I don't know what difference you were talking about now, so I don't know if you can clarify them just after a minute. But we were talking about the steps. We're also training, but the first thing, we were focusing more on the authenticity, I guess, about about opening the heart first of all, about understanding this, all this, how to say, just a second, okay? For me, it was more important to understand all the process, right, than to teach the 4 steps in the sentence, right? Because it's very easy also to fall in this trap that it does not sound natural, and then it doesn't help to communicate. It's a paradox. I know that Miki Kashtan, she had also quite a meeting about the naturality, and what I also was saying, that even if you mistake something, the most important thing is that is your intention that you are reaching out with, that you stand, that you open yourself, right, and taking care of yourself in the first place, right, so that you don't expose yourself, to just a second. And okay, can you tell me also about these differences?
Like, first of all, my experience with parents and also the kids who are on autistic spectrum is that basically the 4 steps make the structure and give the right order, and for them it's very helpful. But it's true that it might lead to some that those people might sound even more awkward than usually. So that's also the danger. But in terms of the steps, what I noticed, and I don't want to generalize, because I fully agree that each person on autism spectrum would be different. But with the first step, they tend to be more precise. So those facts, again, being on some spectrum, they might be even more precise. Okay, like in terms of the temperature, weight, and so on, they want the details. Yeah. So when I talked with the person on autism spectrum, I might be more focused on being precise, because then changing that a bit or being not precise might somehow break that bridge, that connection.
No, it will not break the bridge, but it's very often that actually we need clarification. And that's it. But it's, I think that no, it's not. what I think, you know, this is my experience. So again, I cannot tell for all, but what I think is that, yeah, asking is always the best thing to do. And it can be, yeah, I guess that, yeah, it can be difficult, you know, but I think that if there is really will to connect, right, then somehow you're going to do this, you know. The point is that, you know, it's also this, that sometimes people are saying that they want to connect, but actually they do not, you know. And I think that it's the most often case, you know, when it fails, actually. Okay, what we have problem with, this I guess can be quite universal, are the small talks. We do not do small talks. Okay, my husband will come back from work, and then I will tell him, you know, about the sense of life, or I don't know, the some kind of the information that I have read, or I don't know, I will tell him about my special interest, or but you know, we need substance in the communication. And so what can fail actually would be the small talk, because, you know, I will not, you know, when you will tell me, yeah, it's raining, yeah, yeah, it's raining. Well, yeah, you can learn that as well. Yeah, so, some of us, we do learn, but you know, for us, it's like, it's futile. I know what's the meaning of the small talks, you know, that is the fatigue function that is the most important, you know, just to keep the contact. But actually for us, it's not, you know, it's quite annoying, because, well, this is not the you know, I get contact when I have exchange, and for me this exchange, you know, without information, you know, just switching, you know, like the some kind of the how to say, savoir vivre stuff, you know, and it's not going to work, because we are very often socially awkward, right? So maybe also for this, actually.
And if I can add, is it fine? Yeah. If I add another thing for the step 2, yeah, with emotions, what I learned is that with some people, I need to be very curious and very open and very like doing that very slowly, because sometimes when you ask such a person with what are your body sensations? Yeah. And that might be, again, somehow sound dangerous even for that person, because it might, if they don't have like proper connection, or if they are hyper or hypersensitive. Yeah, so that's, this is, again, also naming the emotions. At the very beginning, it is a huge challenge, while once they learn that, they have more vocabulary for that. And although still on that thermometer of the emotions, they go quickly, seem to go quicker from like 0 on the anger scale, 0 to 10. Yeah. They can still learn that and say, oh, now I am on 6. Yeah, so you know, yeah. So what you said now about the scale, it's very useful. Yeah, because, you know, it's something that is that can be measured, something that is, you know, like concrete. So yeah, this one is very useful. And what you said is what I said also before. Yeah, it can be difficult to recognize emotions. Sometimes we do have different way of contact with our body, and so we do not recognize properly all the things. Sometimes we have some emotions that are blocked as well, you know. And after all, you know,
leave also all the stuff, you know, that like all the neurotypicals as well, you know, we have also our problems, you know. I mean, you know, you will have the I don't know, the parent that is absent emotionally, or I don't know, you know, stuff like that. I mean, you know, after all, you know, it's all working for us as well as it works for the neurotypicals. So, you know, it can have influence as well. But yeah, what you said also, that once they learn, yeah, once we learn, we know this. If we will learn it maybe slower, or it will be more difficult for us. But yeah, we will.
Thank you very much for sharing.
Thank you all.
I really learned a lot.
Okay. I just wanted to thank you. Thank you a lot that you've been here. Really, it means a lot. Bye.